What happens when a successful Disney writer decides to direct his first movie and it happens to be a horror flick? We get The Unholy, and it's pretty good. The movie follows a washed out reporter played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan who stumbles upon a story of a deaf mute girl who suddenly can speak and heal the sick. But not everything is as it appears. It is fairly straightforward and the twists and turns are not that surprising, but the movie is surprisingly good. I'm not going to go into the plot details whatsoever because I really want you to check this movie out. Directed by Evan Spiliotopoulos, who is the writer for Disney responsible of live action films like Beauty and the Beast. Man, this guy is very interesting because it is not only his first movie, but he decides to go into a genre that he didn't write for, which is very cool. But at the same time, this movie feels like it was done some time ago, and that's a good thing. The drawback is that I wish the film was actually done on physical film to have that grain and dirt and more practical effects. But aside from those small drawbacks, it's competently done and delivers pretty good scares without being cheap, without trying to go for the shock and gore, and rather it creates tension and suspense with very good storytelling and character development. At the same time, the cinematography serves the movie very well, and it's not trying to be overly ambitious but creating crazy shots, but at the same time it does what needs to be done to tell the story in an interesting way that is visually appealing and always stays on track with the characters, the performances, the empty spots where you think something is going to come out, and indeed those empty spots get populated by interesting things. And altogether, it plays tricks on your mind just the way it plays tricks on the minds of the characters, and that's why I really enjoy the movie. The main supporting cast are great. Jeffrey Dean Morgan delivers his usual expected delivery that we actually love quite a lot, from seeing him as Sam and Dean's dad in Supernatural, being serious and wounded, to being more aloof and I think more close to who he is as a person, the way we saw him as Negan in The Walking Dead. The supporting cast is very surprising because you have actors that are seasoned. We've seen them in other places. Carrie Elves, for example, from Saw and Princess Bride. But to me, the pleasant and outstanding performance was William Sadler, who plays a father, and I mean priest, that is skeptical of what's going on. He has been taking care of the main character, this girl that now can speak and hear, that can heal people, and the performance that he delivers steals every scene. He shows doubt, faith, vulnerability, anger, pain in outstanding ways. And I didn't know that William Sadler can be so convincing, so emotional, so deep. And from his performance alone, this movie is definitely worth your time. But what happens when you have a mysterious monster of the film done in a combination of practical and digital effects? Well, it delivers actually quite well. I wish everything in this movie was done in practical effects, and I understand budget-wise it makes sense. If this movie was done back in the 90s or 2000s, it would be better because all of that cool stuff would have been done in practical effects. But even with the CGI, the monster of the movie, so to speak, it's done well, it's convincing, it's not cheesy, and it's shown just enough to create the scares, the distress, the unease that permeates the entire movie, because the movie actually has a mood and a character that is exemplary of somebody that is a seasoned director, not a first-time director, and this really blew my mind. Evan Spiliotopoulos directed a very good horror film. The Unholy definitely surpassed my expectations. I was expecting a cheap, cheesy, very uninspired movie, and I actually got something with quite a lot of substance, great message, very good atmosphere, legitimate scares, very good visuals and soundtrack, performances by actors I forgot even existed, and now I realize I should dig deeper into what they have done in the past 10 years, and overall, a very good entry into what horror movies offer. And lately, the horror movies have been not so good. So, The Unholy being great really was a pleasant surprise. I think it's worth your time and your money if you're going to rent it. If you love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, just watch it. He's great in it. I wonder what is your favorite horror movie as of late and why. I'm Jin from Get Me More, and you know where to find me. Thank you for watching.